for watching Evelina's Way. Today we're going to be talking about quilt tops and memories. Hope you enjoy your video. Hello, this is Marcia from Evelina's Way. Today we're going to be looking at how to trace a quilt piece if you don't have a pattern, how to make a pattern out of what you already see. Now I'm sure there are lots of things online that you can do this with, but I find that parchment paper, same kind that you cook with, works best for me. What you can do, for instance, this is a little Dutch girl pattern, and I've got a quilt on my bed I'll show you at the end of this video. But this is the pattern that I want to make. The unfortunate part is that I do not have this pattern. I don't have this particular pattern to show the hat and the arm and the leg. This is only 4 pieces that you'll have to cut out. But the first thing that I do is I get my parchment paper, and you can see that you can see right through this. And so what you'll do is take a pencil and you'll go through all the lines and you get all this lined out. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to cut it, and I'm going to show you how to take this pattern and make a block, a quilt block. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we can see that we have the parchment paper laid down here. And the reason I picked parchment paper is you can actually see the colors. If you use construction paper or any other kind, you really can't see the lines that you need. So I use parchment paper, and you just go through and you draw this. This is going to be the little dress. And this part up here is actually like this. So we got that part. Then we cut out this part. And I'm going to move this down a little bit. Then we're going to get the little bonnet. And this is one piece, even though when we begin to quilt it, which I won't show you that, I just want to show you how to get all this cut out, that when you do that, you can put stitches or anything. You could even put like a little lace right here on that one. You can also make your blocks bigger if you choose to. So we've got the little dress and we've got the hat right now. We're going to go over here and move this over. I'm going to do a little arm. You can see right there where we need to go with that. And a little foot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off right here. And then you'll cut this out. I don't know if you can see the lines there. If you can see the lines here, right there. That's the little dress. And this is a little bonnet right there. The little arm is here. And the little foot, I've got my sides backwards, is right there. So we get this cut out. Parchment paper is really easy to cut too. Little foot, little shoe. Little arm. And now we've got the little bonnet. Okay. So we've got this, and as you can see, it shows it here, and here, and here. Actually, this one will go down first, and when you sew this, you'll pin all these on here like this, and you pick your colors and material, and then the little hat will go over top of that. You can see the little bit of over right there, hangs over just a little bit. We got that. Then we've got to have her arm right here. Now, when I contrasted mine, I made a memory pillow for my sister. And when she got married, she had green satin. And then I also found material because our grandma sewed and made our bridesmaids' dresses, and she made all of our curtains and everything. So I had extra material left from all that. So what I did for my sister is I took her satin, her green satin that she had from her wedding, her bridesmaids' dresses, and then I found the pink flowered material from our bedroom curtains when we shared a room when we were kids, and I put the green satin here, the green satin here, the green satin here, and then I made this with our bedroom curtains with the pink. And I made a pillow, I stuffed it, and I sent it to her, and she loved it. Because it's memories. This is a way to preserve memories without putting a photo in a book, because those are memories that she and I shared together. In her wedding, I was her matron of honor, and so, like I said, these are memories that I shared together. We shared together. Now, once you get all this done, then you would pin your cut material to just a regular, this is just cotton, a piece of cotton, like a dish towel or something. You can buy some of these things at fabric stores. You can also buy some of these at farm stores, and they're called cotton sacks or cheesecloth. Not cheesecloth, just like you can find the cotton material. Now you don't have to just use a white. You can make this like a white and a red, and then use black, and you can just make it whatever you want to make it your own. And what you do is you pin all these corners, and then you take your sewing machine, or you can hand stitch, but you take your sewing machine and you go around this. Actually, you go around this one first. Then you put your hat down and you go around this. You can go, then you put your little foot down, you go around that, and with that. And my suggestion for you is to use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine, because your zigzag, because you have a raw edge here, your zigzag will keep this from fraying out. It'll keep it from raveling out. And so you'd use a zigzag stitch. As you can see, that's what was used on this one, is a little zigzag stitch all the way around it. Now, when my grandmother, this is just parts of her quilt that she made. Let me part of the quilt that these are extra quilt blocks that she had made. I'll show you the full quilt that she made. She sewed her blocks, but when she put the quilt together, she hand quilted it. With my granny and some of her other friends, they had a quilting bee that they would do. They would get together like 2 Saturdays a month or whatever, and then they would each bring their quilts in. They would bat them with batting, and then they put it back on them, and they would hand quilt them. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So bear with me. Let me get this moved out of my way. I'll take you in here. This is my quilt. It's on my bed. And my granny and my grandma hand stitched this quilt. Let me get this off of the bed and bring it in here and show you. I'll be right back. So this is the quilt, and it's just like a walk down memory lane for me. If you can tell if something is hand stitched, if you look right here at the stitches, they're consistent, but they're not machine consistent. So when they would quilt this, they would quilt here, and they would lay this out on a stretched quilting, I can't think of what they're called. But anyway, it stretches the quilt out, and as you sew your seams, then it comes all the way through the back. So the pattern on the back, they've used white thread here. You can see the indentions from the thread. Now on the front, that's right here. And these are quilt blocks. And when my grandmother was doing this, and my granny, let me get this little girl turn around here. They made extra blocks. And I found quite a few in all the things that I've done, extra blocks. And so they got this to the size they needed, and they just had the extra blocks put back. And I was fortunate enough to find them, and they're with my supplies now. So this material right here is the same as this material, very same. So this was one of the blocks that they put together for whatever reason, and they chose not to use this block. But there's like, oh my goodness, I probably have 10 extra blocks like this. So what I think I'm going to do eventually is make some shams for my bed using these blocks, or maybe curtains or something to kind of match the quilt. But anyway, this is the Dutch Girl quilt, and this is the second one that I've had. My first one was on my bed when I was a little girl, and this is not the same quilt. This is a different quilt, and I wore it out. We wore it out. My sister also had a quilt, and it was like the Southern Belle with the big umbrella, and I'll have to find that pattern for you, and with the big dress, and her umbrella was covering her face. And these were our bedspreads. They're beautiful. I don't want a bedspread that's just from the store. I want it that we can look at. And this quilt, let me see if I can find some of the ones. My cousin, Elisa, my grandmother made her an outfit just like this. And she, Elisa, passed away at age 24. And so when I look at this quilt, I can see her in her little jumper right here. Let's see, where am I? Right here. I can see the picture of her in her little jumper. So it brings back memories to me. This right here, my sister had a shirt that was made out of that. And when I see this, I think about her. and seeing that shirt and her pictures and just growing up. There's also pictures of dresses my mother wore that were made for her that are into this quilt. And I see old pictures and I'm like, oh, that material is the same as this. So my grandma Faye she saved so many things, pieces of material over time, and made this beautiful, beautiful quilt, which is on my bed today. And when I go, it's just like walking down memory lane. And I love it. It's warm, but I know whose hands touched this to make it. So she saved all these little scraps, and you can see a lot of people throw away their little scraps. But these little scraps are tiny. I mean, this is tiny, that's tiny, and the little foot is tiny. So if I have room, you can hang on to your scraps. This right here is just a little bit, but look, when you put it all together, what a beautiful quilt it makes. So let me show you. It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I love it. And it's really thick. And it just lays on my bed. And it brightens things up. I'll be right back. Okay. So we can see here, I just have some additional scrap material that my grandmother started a quilt with, and for whatever the reason, she just didn't get done with it. Now, if you make this particular, which I'm going to call part of a fan, but really what this is part of a circle. And would be a fourth of a block, and then you would make another one, and another one that would go down like this, and another one would go down like that. And when you put all this big block, which should be 4 blocks, together, you would get a large, I believe this is a foot. So you get a 4-foot piece that makes a big circle, with this being the center part of that circle. Beautiful. And she's even drawn some hearts up here, or apples or something. And I don't know, because I didn't get a chance to ask her about these things. But I'm finding additional things here that was what she was going to do next. I don't know if this just got put away or if there was a death in the family. Anyway, something distracted her from it. But you can see just a real tiny little markings on it. And I love that, because I can see she's left little marks of things that she was thinking and doing for her family, which her family was so important to her. Now this one was already cut, and this one was cut out of construction paper. It looks like we're missing, no, this here, okay. And this one, let me find it. No, it's here somewhere. Here it is. This one is a butterfly. And it looks like she had started on this. It's pretty. And so if a person loves butterflies, then we got the pattern right here. Easy. If you like something, but you don't have a pattern, you can use your parchment paper to make your pattern. And that's what this one is. Right here was this part. That was this part. That was this part, and then the body. Then you take your zigzag stitch and you do whatever color antenna that you want to do, or whatever style, and then you can have a butterfly. So don't be intimidated by looking at something and think, man, I'd like to try that. Just go for it. You can use old material. You can use old pillowcases or sheets or whatever to make your backing. And if you're afraid to get started and that you feel like you might not be good at it, or you want to just try it, then use something that, if it works, that's great, then you've got something. But if it doesn't work, don't be afraid to dispose of it or repurpose it in some way. Anyway, we've got this butterfly one. And then this one is really unique and really pretty. And I don't think my grandmother, she might have done this. This looks like my mother's material. When my mother was young, my grandma made her a Halloween costume of Scarlett O'Hara, and I think this is the material that was used. It's the same color of pink. But this is flowers in a vase. And when I talked about using colored background, this is something a person could do for colored background. And it's pretty, and it's really easy to cut the flowers out in the stems. Make your vase, just trace it with your parchment paper. And then you can put whatever kind of colors you want. Change your flowers. And then there's one more. This is a star pattern. And this is actually was one of the quilts that I had when my kids were growing up. This was the center of one of the blocks, and the rest of it was blue material, blue and white. And my grandma made this, and this is just the star right here. But instead of zigzagging, what she did on the back is she cut each single thing like this. She cut this triangle to go here, and she sewed it together. Instead of zigzagging from the front side, she sewed these together all the way around. You can do them either way. But then you have your star. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the things that, different ways to make memories that you can do. There are so many other ways to make memories now, because you can actually get quilts, take a picture and send it, and they can send you back blocks or even a quilt that's already made with your family's pictures or your pictures or whatever memories you want. But this is a way you use your extra scraps, but you make something that the next generation can remember. And it's just a beautiful way to show love, to keep you warm. And like I say, I look at it every day and I love it. This is Marcia. Y'all have a great day. God bless you. And, keep all the people that are suffering from the drought in your prayers, and anybody who's having hurricane activity, all those people. And, there's just lots of suffering in this world. But remember that the tiniest bit of compassion or caring or giving, your thoughts, your time, your energy, do something good every day that means something to someone, to change their thought process. Thank you all. God bless. Thank you for watching Evelina's Way, where yesterday's survival are today's lessons. Please like, subscribe, and share. God bless.